The moment she brought her Ethiopian father to Seoul, her uncle filed the papers that would erase her Korean identity forever. Selam Yoon stood in the arrivals hall at Incheon Airport, scanning faces for a man she'd only seen in old photographs. Around her, families collapsed into reunions. She touched her collarbone, felt for the absent necklace her Halmione used to check for. Then she saw him. Desta Tekle emerged with a battered suitcase covered in faded Addis Ababa tags, his graying hair catching the terminal light. He wore a pressed but worn button-down tucked into khaki trousers. Their eyes met. Neither moved. Selam? His voice carried the rasp she'd heard over 3 crackling phone calls made from her Itaewon studio bathroom at midnight. Yes. She forced herself forward. Welcome to Seoul. He opened his arms, hesitant. She stepped into the embrace because it seemed right, but her body remained rigid. He smelled like coffee and old leather. When he pulled back, his eyes were wet. You look like her, like your mother. Salam's phone buzzed. Uncle Jinho asking where she was. She'd told him she was working late at the Ethiopian consulate. 3 weeks of lies. We need to go, she said, picking up his smaller bag. I have a taxi waiting. In the cab, Desta kept his hands folded, careful not to touch anything. The driver glanced at them in the rear-view mirror, doing the mental math people always did when they saw her with someone too black to be family. Your grandmother, Desta said quietly. How is she today? Some days she knows me. Some days she thinks I'm my mother. Selam watched the highway lights streak past. The doctor says we're in the middle stage. It's going to get worse. I brought her something. He patted his jacket. A cross she gave your mother. I've kept it all these years. The words lodged in Selam's throat. You weren't supposed to keep anything. You were supposed to disappear. Instead, she said, we're not going to the Hanok. Desta turned. But you said, I know. It's not safe yet. My uncle is there tonight. We'll go tomorrow when he's at work. If there's a story that stayed with you this far, maybe it's one worth staying for. Sometimes the hardest journeys are the ones we take together. The truth was uglier. She didn't know how to bring this man into the house where she'd been raised to forget him. The Seongbuk-dong Hanok held her entire life. Desta's presence would crack the foundation. Her Itaewon studio was barely large enough for one person. Desta had to turn sideways with his suitcase. He stood taking in the narrow bed, corner kitchenette, desk stacked with dictionaries. It's small, Selam said, but it's mine. It's perfect. Thank you for letting me stay. She made tea. They sat on opposite ends of her bed, silent, stretching. I wrote you letters, Desta said, every month, for 28 years. Salam's cup stopped. I never got them. I know that now. But I didn't know it then. I thought maybe you'd read them and decided. He trailed off, checking his watch. Decided what? That you didn't need a father who'd left. You didn't leave. The words came sharp. They sent you away. Desta looked up, hope flickering. You know, I'm a translator. I translate things, including old university records and visa applications. She set down her tea. I know my uncle threatened you. I know you tried to stay. Then you know I wanted you. His voice cracked. Every day, Selam. Her phone buzzed. Uncle Jinho. Where are you? Your Halmione is asking for you. Another text. Don't make me come looking. Selam stood, moving to the window. Below, Itaewon's neon signs bled into the rain-slicked street. Tomorrow, she said. We'll go see her tomorrow. I promise. What she didn't say, tomorrow her Halmione might not remember Mireille's name, might not recognize the cross. The dementia was erasing her history faster than Selam could recover it. Behind her, Desta hummed a low melody that tugged at something deep in Selam's memory. Her mother used to hum like that. Selam woke before dawn to find Desta already dressed, sitting by his suitcase, hands folded. I couldn't sleep. Too excited. We should leave before traffic. They took the subway to Seongbuk-dong, Desta gripping the pole as the car lurched. High school students whispered and pointed. Selam had learned to let the stairs slide off, but watching them look at her father made her jaw clench. Does it bother you? The attention? Every day of my life. She met his eyes. You get used to it. I'm sorry you had to get used to it. The walk took them through narrow lanes where traditional houses pressed against modern villas. The neighborhood knew her. The Yoon girl. The one who'd brought shame. The mixed one. An elderly woman sweeping her stoop stopped to watch them pass. The Hanik stood behind a wooden gate. Selim's hand hovered over the latch. He might be here. My uncle. Then we'll talk to him. Desta's voice carried teacher's calm. He's your family. We'll make him understand. She almost laughed. Jinho didn't understand. He erased. She pushed open the gate. The courtyard was empty. Through the paper doors, she heard her Halmioni's voice and Uncle Jinho's responses. Her stomach dropped. Wait here, she whispered, gesturing to the stone bench. She slipped off her shoes and slid open the door. Her Halmioni sat propped against cushions. At 83, she'd shrunk to something translucent, skin like rice paper over bird bones. Uncle Jinho knelt beside her, adjusting her blanket. He looked up. His salt and pepper hair was perfectly slicked back. Surprise, then calculation. You're here early. I wanted to see Halmioni before work. Selam took the old woman's hand. Halmioni, it's me. Selam? Her grandmother's eyes focused slowly. Mirai? No, Halmioni. I'm Selam, your granddaughter. Mirai shouldn't wear her hair like that. Too severe. Men don't like severe girls. Jinho cleared his throat. I need to speak with you. In the other room. Later? Now. He stood. It's important. She followed him to the receiving room, where he kept his papers, his desk, the locked safe. He closed the door with deliberate softness. Where were you last night? Working. I told you. The consulate says you left at 6. He showed her an email screenshot. I checked. The breath went out of her. He contacted her employer. I had a personal translation job. Jinho stepped closer. Don't insult me, Selam. I've raised you 28 years. I know when you're lying. She touched her collarbone, caught herself, dropped her hand. You brought him here. Jinho's voice dropped to something almost gentle. You brought that man to Seoul. Silence. Outside, the courtyard gate creaked. He's my father. He's nothing. Jinho pulled out a folder already prepared. He was nothing to your mother, nothing to this family. I'm filing the registry challenge today. You can't. I can. Your mother's marriage was never properly registered. Your citizenship hinges on family registry confirmation. He opened the folder, showed documents covered in red stamps. Without it, you're here on circumstantial grace, and I'm the head of this family now. If you felt this kind of betrayal, when the people who raised you weaponize your identity, then you know why some stories need witnesses. Stay with us. Footsteps crossed the courtyard. They both turned. The door slid open. Desta stood there, backlit by sun, suitcase in hand. Behind him, her Halmioni peered from the main room. Selam? Desta's voice held a question. Then his eyes found Jinho. You must be her uncle. He extended his hand. Jinho stared at it. Get out of my house. This is Halmioni's house, Selam said, and he has every right. He has no rights here. Jinho pulled out his phone. I'm calling immigration. Don't, please, just let him see her. One time turns into 2. Jinho's finger hovered over the screen. I've protected you from this for 3 decades. I won't stop now. From the main room came a sound. Her Halmioni's voice, stronger than in weeks. Desta? All 3 froze. The old woman appeared in the doorway, gripping the frame, her eyes suddenly clear. Desta, is that you? Desta's suitcase hit the floor. Oma! He moved toward her, but Jinho blocked his path. She doesn't know what she's saying. The dementia. I know exactly what I'm saying. Halmioni looked at Jinho with cold command. Get out of the way. Jinho's hand dropped. For a moment, he looked like a scolded child. Halmioni shuffled forward. When she reached Desta, she raised one trembling hand to his face. Tears slid down her cheeks. You came back. I tried. Every year. They wouldn't let me. I know, she turned to Jinho with sharp eyes. Bring me the chest, the locked one from my room. Oma, you should rest. Bring it now. Selam had seen the chest her entire life. Dark wood and brass fittings, always locked, always forbidden. Jinho returned carrying it, jaw clenched. He set it down heavily. Halmione fumbled at her neck, producing a key. The lock clicked. Inside, beneath folded silk, were letters. Hundreds of them. Thin airmail paper covered in Amharic script and Korean addresses, many marked "Return to Sender." But these weren't returned. These were open, read, saved. Selam knelt, hands shaking. Halmione. What? I kept them. The old woman's voice wavered. Jinho said I shouldn't, but I kept them. Mireille's letters. And his. Desta dropped to his knees. You read them? Everyone. Halmione pressed an envelope into Selam's hands. Your father wrote you every month. Beautiful letters. About jacaranda trees in Addis Ababa. Teaching English. How he named a star after you. Selam couldn't breathe. The envelope was dated 3 months after she was born. Then you knew. All these years, you knew he wanted me. I knew. Halmione's eyes filmed over, clarity fading. But Jinho said it was better if you didn't know. Said you'd be more Korean if you forgot. I was weak. I let him convince me. Jinho stood frozen, face like old paper. Did you know about these? Of course I knew. I had them returned. All of them. Every single one for 28 years. Not all, Halmione said softly. I saved some. Hid them when he came to collect the mail. Desta pulled out more letters. Money orders fell from between pages. I sent money. For her education. Which I returned. Every cent. We didn't need your charity. It wasn't charity. Desta rose, something new in his expression. She was my daughter. My responsibility. My right. You had no rights the moment you touched my sister. You came with your scholarships and foreign ideas, and you ruined her. She died because of you. She died because complications happen. Selam stood. Women die in childbirth. Korean women, Ethiopian women. She would have married a Korean man, had Korean children, been alive. Jinho's hand went to his watch. Instead, she fell for this foreigner, and it killed her. Halmione made a small sound, eyes now vacant. Mireille? Where's Mireille? Selam moved to her, guided her back to cushions. You should go, Jinho said to Desta. You've upset her enough. I'm not going anywhere. Not until Selam tells me to go. They both looked at her. Sometimes the hardest part of any story isn't the ending. It's choosing which direction to face when the path splits. If you're still here, it means something. Maybe that's worth remembering. Selam's phone buzzed. A text from Mina. Are you okay? Your uncle called me asking questions about you. I'm worried. Jinho had contacted Mina, which meant he was building a case. I need air. She looked at Desta. Stay with Halmione, please. Absolutely not, Jinho began, but Selam was already moving. She found Mina at a cafe in Hyeodong, hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, dressed in trendy Dongdaemun fashion. Neutral ground. But when Selam sat, Mina wouldn't meet her eyes. What did my uncle ask you? Just if you seemed stressed, if you'd mentioned travel plans. Mina twisted her napkin. Selam, I'm worried. This thing with your father, what did you tell him? Silence stretched too long. Mina, what did you tell him? I told him you'd been asking about family registry laws and visa applications. He said he was concerned. I thought, you thought what? That betraying me was helping me? It's not betrayal by feeding information to the man trying to destroy my citizenship. He's filing a registry challenge, and now you've given him everything he needs. Mina's face crumpled. I didn't know. He said, what did he promise you? The pieces clicked. Your F2 visa. He promised to help with your visa. Mina's silence was answer enough. How long? How long have you been reporting to him? 3 weeks. My company started downsizing. I was going to lose my sponsorship. I was desperate. We're all desperate. Selam grabbed her bag. The difference is I didn't sell out the one person who understood. Please, let me fix this. I'll tell him I made it up. He won't believe you. He's got what he needs now. Stay away from me, and stay away from my family. She left Mina crying, walked until her legs burned. Her phone showed 17 missed calls from Jinho. She didn't answer. She called a lawyer who specialized in immigration cases. I need to understand family registry law. specifically challenges to citizenship based on registration disputes. The consultation lasted 40 minutes and cost a week's salary. The summary was worse than feared. If Jinho could prove her mother's marriage to Desta was never properly registered, he could force a citizenship review. 6 months. Legal limbo. Unable to work, potentially unable to stay. Do you have the original marriage certificate? I don't even know if one exists. Then you need to find it, or proof your father legally acknowledged paternity. Anything that establishes the relationship was recognized by the state. She returned to the hanok after dark. Inside, she found Desta sitting with her sleeping Hamioni, reading one of the letters. She woke up twice more, he said. Once she knew me, once she called me professor and asked about lecture notes. Is that what I was to her? Just some professor her daughter dated? I think she's trying to protect herself. Forgetting is easier than remembering you failed someone. Did she fail us? She failed me. She knew you existed, knew you wanted me, and she let Jinho erase you anyway. Desta folded the letter carefully. Fear makes people choose safety over justice. I can't hate her for that. Well, I can. Where's Jinho? He left hours ago, said he had business. Selam, what happens next? With the citizenship challenge? She told him everything. The lawyer's assessment, the missing documents, the legal limbo coming. His face aged with each detail. When she finished, he said, Then I'll leave. Tonight. If my being here triggers this, it's not you, it's him. He's been planning this for years, waiting for an excuse. Then we fight. We find those documents. We prove the marriage was legal. And if it wasn't? My mother was 23. You were 28. Maybe she got pregnant and they never formalized anything before she died. Then we prove paternity. DNA test, witness testimony, something. Witnesses who'll contradict Jinho? Selam laughed bitterly. Everyone in this neighborhood owes him something. They'll say whatever he wants. Her phone buzzed. Calendar reminder. Ancestral rites ceremony Saturday. Do not forget. The family's autumn memorial. 40 people. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Gathering at the hanok to honor the dead. Mandatory. Ritualized. Jinho would be officiating. Stories have power when they're shared. When someone else says, I see you in the chaos. If this one's reached you, maybe you'll reach back. Hit subscribe, not for us, but for the next person who needs to know they're not alone in this. An idea formed, terrible and necessary. The ceremony is in 2 days. Everyone will be here. All the family, all the witnesses to Jinho's version of history. Selam, what are you thinking? I'm thinking it's time to stop being the good niece who keeps her mouth shut. Public confrontation will humiliate him. He'll retaliate. He's already retaliating. At least this way, everyone will know why. Desta placed a hand on her shoulder. Your mother used to say the truth doesn't need permission to exist, but truth also doesn't need an audience. You don't owe these people your pain. Maybe not, but I owe myself the chance to stop performing. She looked at him. Will you come to the ceremony? You want me there? I want them to see you. I want them to see us together and understand what they took from both of us. Then I'll be there. The ancestral rites ceremony began at dawn. The hanok courtyard filled with family members Selam saw once a year. They moved through rituals with practiced precision, arranging fruit, lighting incense, bowing in rhythm. Selam stood at the back in her dark hanbok, watching Jinho orchestrate everything. When he noticed her, his eyes narrowed. Desta waited outside the gate. They'd agreed he would stay hidden until the right moment, after the formal ceremony, when confrontation would be public and inescapable. The rituals took 2 hours, prayers, offerings, formal bows. Selam performed each gesture mechanically, counting down. Finally, the family moved to tables for the feast. 40 people, 3 generations. Selam's great-aunt commented on her hair. A cousin asked when she'd marry. Another wondered aloud why she'd chosen translating for Ethiopians. She let them talk, waited. Jinho stood to give the traditional family address, thanking everyone, reviewing family business, reinforcing hierarchy. He spoke about tradition, legacy, maintaining the Yoon name with dignity. Our family has weathered many challenges. We've remained strong because we remember who we are, because we don't let outside influences compromise our identity. His eyes found Selam. She stood up. 40 pairs of eyes turned. The courtyard went silent. Uncle Jinho, she said steadily, you're right that our family has faced challenges. I'd like to share one of them now. Selam, this isn't the time. When is the time? She pulled out the bundle of letters. To talk about how you've been intercepting my father's letters for 28 years? To discuss the money he sent that you returned? To explain why you told me he abandoned us when he'd been trying to reach me since I was born? Whispers started immediately. Her great-aunt clutched her chest. You're having an episode, Jinho said. The stress of Halmioni's illness. I'm having clarity. Selam moved through the crowd toward him. And I'm done letting you write the family history. She nodded toward the gate. Desta entered the courtyard. Gasps were immediate. A foreign man, unmistakably African, walking into their ancestral ceremony. The violation rippled through the family. This is my father, Desta Tekle. He loved my mother. She loved him. And every story you've been told about him leaving was a lie. Jinho's composure cracked. Get him out. This is sacred family ground. He is family. Selam's voice rose. More family than you've ever been to me. He wanted me. He fought for me. He sent letters and money and prayers for nearly 3 decades while you erased any proof he existed. To protect you, Jinho shouted, and silence fell. To give you a chance at a normal Korean life. To save you from being exactly what you are now. Caught between worlds, belonging nowhere. I belong to myself, and I'm done apologizing for existing wrong. Her great-aunt stood. Is this true, Jinho? The letters? He has no legal standing. I asked about the letters. Silence. Finally, yes. I returned them. For her own good. Her good or your pride? The great-aunt's gaze was cold. Your sister made her choice. Mire was an adult, and you've spent 3 decades punishing a child for her mother's love. The marriage was never registered, Jinho said desperately. The whole relationship was legally void. Selam's citizenship is based on fraudulent documentation. Actually, a new voice interrupted. Everyone turned to see Selam's Halmioni in the doorway, supported by a neighbor. Her eyes were clear again, burning with lucidity. The marriage was registered. I have the certificate. I've had it all along. The courtyard erupted. Jinho's face went white. Oma, no! I registered it myself. Halmioni shuffled forward. Family parting. At the Dong office 3 days before Mirai died. She asked me to. Begged me. And I loved my daughter enough to give her that, even if I was afraid. She pulled out a folded document, yellowed but bearing official stamps and seals. Selam's hands trembled as she took it. There, her mother's name, Desta's name. Marriage registration, dated October 1996. Legal. Recognized. Real. Why didn't you tell me? I was afraid Jinho would destroy it, so I hid it. Halmioni touched Selam's face, and then I started forgetting where I hid things. But today I remembered everything. And here we are, at the moment when everything could break or heal. If you've stayed this long, maybe you understand why these stories matter. Subscribe, and we'll keep telling them. Together. Jinho stood frozen, his narrative collapsing. The family watched, waiting to see which way power would shift. Selam looked at the certificate, at her father, at her Halmioni whose clarity might vanish tomorrow. Then she looked at Jinho. I'm not asking for your permission anymore. I'm telling you, this ends now. The erasure, the control, the shame, all of it. Desta moved to stand beside her, and for the first time, Selam felt the weight of 2 histories holding her up instead of pulling her apart. But outside the gate, hidden in shadow, Mina watched through her phone camera, recording everything. When the ceremony broke up, she made a call. 3 days later, Selam received the notice. Her citizenship hearing was scheduled for the following month. Mina's testimony was listed as evidence for the prosecution. The betrayal ran deeper than imagined, and now she faced a choice that would define everything. Accept Mina's offer to testify on her behalf, condemning her friend to deportation, or face the hearing alone and lose everything. The final collision was coming. End. The hardest battles aren't fought with strangers. They're fought with the people who know exactly where you're vulnerable. In the next part of this story, Selam must decide what price she's willing to pay for belonging. But for now, if this journey meant something to you, let us know. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so we can keep exploring these spaces between worlds together. Some stories don't have easy endings.